They're intelligent. They're dangerous. And they'll do
The teaser opens with a mood that feels tense from the very first second. There are no long speeches or slow introductions. Instead, viewers are thrown directly into a fast-moving world filled with alerts, warnings, and confusion. Screens flash with breaking news banners, voices speak in short and urgent tones, and maps appear covered with signals and warning marks. It feels less like a movie and more like watching the start of a real crisis unfold in front of your eyes. What makes this opening so powerful is the way it creates fear without showing too much at once. Small pieces of information begin to appear, each one adding more tension. A city skyline is shown at night, but something feels wrong. Lights suddenly go out across large areas, leaving entire blocks in darkness. In another quick shot, computer screens show warning signs as systems fail one after another. These images suggest cyber attacks, the kind of attacks that happen silently but cause massive damage. There are no soldiers running through streets yet, no tanks rolling forward, only invisible strikes that hit from far away. This slow build of fear is what makes the teaser feel different from normal action previews. Instead of showing only explosions and fights, it focuses first on confusion and uncertainty. Voices over radios speak quickly, asking questions but receiving no clear answers. The tone of these voices carries worry and urgency. It becomes clear that something is happening across many places at the same time, and no one fully understands who is behind it. The world shown in the teaser feels connected in a way that reflects real life today. Technology controls almost everything: power systems, communication networks, transportation lines. When one system fails, others begin to collapse. The teaser uses this idea to show how modern conflicts are no longer limited to battlefields. A war can begin with code instead of bullets, with signals instead of bombs. This is where the idea of a ghost war begins to take shape, a war that moves quietly, hiding behind screens and shadows. Another important detail in this opening is the speed of the visuals. Each scene appears only for a short moment, yet every frame adds to the growing sense of danger. A drone flies silently over water. A military radar screen shows unknown objects moving across borders. A team of analysts looks worried as data changes too quickly to track. These short moments create a pattern, showing that events are not random, but part of something larger and more organized. The sound design in the teaser also plays a major role in building tension. Instead of loud music, the early seconds use low, deep tones that feel heavy and serious. Short alarm sounds cut through the silence, making each moment feel more urgent. The absence of constant noise makes viewers focus more on each warning sound, making the danger feel closer and more real. As these images continue, the viewer begins to understand that this is not a single attack but a chain of events spreading across the world. Multiple locations appear on screen, suggesting that several nations are affected at the same time. This creates the feeling that the crisis is global, not local. It hints that governments and intelligence teams are struggling to keep control while facing an enemy that does not reveal itself. The teaser carefully avoids showing the full truth too early. Instead, it allows mystery to grow. Who is behind these attacks? What do they want? And why are they striking now? These unanswered questions become the driving force that keeps viewers watching closely, searching for clues in every frame. By the end of this opening section, one message becomes clear. The world is standing on the edge of chaos. Systems are failing, trust is weakening, and fear is spreading faster than information. The stage is now set for the return of a man who has faced threats before, but now must step into a conflict unlike any he has seen. A conflict where enemies hide in shadows, where battles happen without warning, and where the next move could decide the fate of millions. Just when the world begins to feel unstable and full of confusion, the teaser shifts its focus to the one man who has always stood at the center of danger: Jack Ryan. The change in visuals is clear and powerful. After showing chaos spreading across cities and systems, the teaser brings viewers into quieter rooms filled with tension, where decisions are made that can shape the future of nations. The first glimpse of Jack Ryan in the teaser is calm but serious. He is not running or fighting yet. Instead, he is watching, studying, and thinking. Papers filled with reports lie across a table. Screens show moving maps and streams of coded data. His face shows focus, but also worry. It is the look of someone who understands that what is happening is not a simple attack, but the beginning of something much bigger. This quiet introduction reminds viewers that Jack Ryan is not only a fighter, but also a thinker, someone who uses intelligence before action. As the teaser moves forward, we see Jack walking into secure rooms where important leaders gather. The mood in these rooms is heavy. Conversations are short and serious. No one is smiling. Officials speak in low voices, sharing updates that seem to grow worse with every second. It becomes clear that even the most powerful leaders feel uncertain. They are facing an enemy that does not stand on open battlefields, but hides behind layers of secrecy and technology. One powerful moment shows Jack looking at a large digital map filled with flashing warning points. Each point represents another problem: power failures, lost communication lines, and sudden security breaches. The map looks crowded with danger signals, showing how fast the crisis is spreading. Jack studies the data carefully, trying to connect the pieces. His body language suggests deep pressure, the kind that comes when every decision carries heavy risk. The teaser also hints that Jack Ryan is being pushed back into active operations, not by choice, but by necessity. In earlier missions, he has faced terrorists, spies, and powerful enemies. But this time, the challenge feels more complex. The attacks shown in the teaser do not follow normal patterns. They appear and disappear quickly, leaving little trace behind. This forces Jack to think differently, to act faster, and to trust fewer people around him. Another detail that stands out is the growing sense of isolation around Jack. Even when he is surrounded by teams and officials, there is a feeling that he carries the weight alone. His expressions show quiet determination, mixed with concern. He understands that the wrong move could lead to disaster, yet he also knows that doing nothing is not an option. This emotional pressure adds depth to his character, showing that the mission is not only about strategy, but also about courage under stress. Short action shots begin to appear as the section continues. We see Jack moving quickly through secure hallways, entering vehicles, and preparing for field operations. These moments are brief, but powerful. They signal that the time for analysis is slowly turning into the time for action. The calm thinking phase is ending, and the dangerous phase is about to begin. The teaser also suggests trust issues forming within intelligence networks. Some conversations hint that information may be incomplete or even hidden. Jack listens carefully to reports, sometimes questioning what he hears. This creates the idea that not every ally can be trusted. In a conflict built on secrecy, knowing who to trust becomes as important as knowing who the enemy is. There is also a strong sense that Jack Ryan understands the true size of the threat before others do. While some leaders appear unsure or hesitant, his reactions suggest urgency. He moves quickly, speaks with confidence, and studies details that others might overlook. This positions him as the central figure who must guide the response to this hidden war. As this section builds toward its final moments, the visuals become slightly faster. Vehicles move through dark streets. Helicopters prepare for flight. Teams gather equipment with serious expressions. These scenes hint that Jack Ryan's role is no longer limited to planning rooms. He is preparing to step directly into danger once again. By the end of this section, one idea stands out clearly. Jack Ryan is returning to the front line, not because he wants to, but because the world needs him there. The crisis growing across nations is too large, too complex, and too dangerous to ignore. And as the silent war spreads, the man who once solved impossible threats must now face a new kind of enemy, one that hides in shadows, moves without warning, and leaves chaos in its path. As the teaser moves deeper into its story, the danger becomes clearer, but at the same time more mysterious. The scattered attacks and failing systems shown earlier now start to connect into one terrifying idea. This is not random chaos. This is the start of something carefully planned, something designed to strike without leaving clear footprints. This is where the meaning of the title Ghost War truly begins to take shape. The visuals in this part of the teaser become more intense and more direct. Short flashes of explosions begin to appear, but they are not loud and dramatic like in typical action films. Instead, they feel sudden and controlled, almost surgical. A building shakes from an unseen strike. A convoy comes to a sudden halt as something unexpected blocks its path. These moments suggest attacks that are smart, targeted, and designed to weaken systems rather than create open battles. One of the strongest ideas shown here is that the enemy is not easy to identify. There are no clear uniforms, no known flags, and no obvious leaders stepping forward. Instead, everything feels hidden behind layers of technology and secrecy. Signals appear on screens and then vanish. Unknown aircraft move briefly across radar before disappearing again. These actions create the feeling of fighting shadows, enemies who appear only for a moment and then fade away before anyone can respond. This is what makes a ghost war different from traditional warfare. In the past, wars were fought on clear battlefields, where soldiers faced each other directly. But here, the battlefield spreads across cities, oceans, and digital networks. A cyber attack in one country leads to power loss in another. A drone strike in one location triggers panic in several regions at the same time. Every move feels connected to a larger plan that is still hidden from view. As these scenes continue, the scale of the threat becomes impossible to ignore. Major cities appear under pressure. Emergency vehicles rush through crowded streets. Governments begin to mobilize forces, preparing for conflicts they cannot yet fully understand. Military aircraft take off into dark skies, suggesting that nations are preparing for worst-case situations. Yet even with all this movement, the enemy remains invisible. Another important detail in this section is the way tension spreads between nations. The teaser hints that trust between countries is weakening. When attacks happen without clear responsibility, leaders begin to suspect each other. One nation blames another. Another denies involvement. This creates political pressure that grows just as fast as the physical danger. The risk is not only war against hidden enemies, but also war between powerful countries who fear betrayal. We also begin to see more action-focused visuals during this part of the teaser. Special operation teams move silently through dark areas, their faces serious and alert. They check weapons, scan surroundings, and prepare for sudden threats. Helicopters hover above isolated locations, ready to drop teams into unknown territory. These moments show that intelligence gathering is now turning into direct confrontation. Even with all these preparations, the feeling of uncertainty never fades. Every time forces move toward one location, another crisis appears somewhere else. It feels like chasing shadows that never stay still. This constant shifting of danger adds to the feeling that the enemy understands how to stay hidden while causing maximum damage. Another powerful moment shows crowded command centers filled with analysts and officers watching data streams. Their faces reflect fear and frustration. Lines of information move too quickly to follow. New alerts appear before old ones can be solved. This overload of information creates a sense that the world is struggling to keep control while facing an enemy that thinks several steps ahead. The teaser also hints that the mastermind behind these events may not be a single person, but possibly a network. A group operating in secret, using advanced tools to strike from different directions. This idea makes the threat feel even more dangerous. Fighting one enemy is hard enough, but fighting an invisible network spread across the world is something entirely different. As the section moves toward its final moments, the visuals grow darker and faster. Explosions appear closer together. Aircraft fly lower. Teams rush into buildings with urgency. The feeling of quiet tension from earlier moments slowly turns into open panic. The Ghost War is no longer just beginning. It is spreading, growing stronger, and becoming harder to stop. By the end of this section, the main conflict becomes clear. The world is facing a war without clear lines, without visible enemies, and without safe zones. Every system, every city, and every nation could become a target. And in the middle of this growing chaos, the mission facing Jack Ryan becomes more dangerous than ever before. He is not just fighting enemies anymore. He is fighting uncertainty itself, trying to stop a war that hides in shadows and strikes without warning. As the teaser reaches its final stretch, the pace changes once again. Instead of only showing action and danger, it begins to drop small hints, quick flashes of details that feel important, but are easy to miss if you are not paying close attention. These are the hidden clues that suggest where the story might go next, and they give viewers a reason to watch the teaser again and again to catch every small detail. One of the first clues appears through maps and coded signals shown on large screens. These maps are not simple location markers. They show movement patterns, routes, and connections between distant regions. Lines stretch across continents, linking cities that are thousands of miles apart. This suggests that the attacks are not random. They follow a planned path, almost like pieces of a puzzle being placed in order. Each location appears to play a role in a larger operation that is still hidden from full view. Another quick moment shows encrypted messages appearing on digital screens. The codes change rapidly, making it clear that someone is using advanced tools to hide their communication. This detail strongly hints that the enemy is highly organized and technologically skilled. It also suggests that breaking these codes could be one of the key tasks facing intelligence teams. Without understanding these messages, stopping the attacks may become nearly impossible. The teaser also drops clues through its choice of locations. Brief flashes show unfamiliar buildings, busy ports, and narrow streets that look like they belong to different parts of the world. Some areas appear modern and filled with tall structures, while others look older and more crowded. This mix of locations suggests that the story will travel across many countries, making the mission global in both danger and responsibility. It creates the feeling that no single place is safe from the reach of this hidden war. Another important clue comes from the behavior of officials and intelligence teams. In several shots, we see people exchanging worried looks or speaking quietly in corners. These moments hint at something deeper than external threats, the possibility of betrayal from inside. In wars built on secrecy, trust becomes fragile. The teaser subtly suggests that someone within powerful systems may be hiding information or working for unknown forces. This idea adds another layer of tension, because fighting an outside enemy is hard, but discovering an inside traitor is even harder. As the visuals continue, attention shifts back to Jack Ryan, who appears to be connecting the scattered clues together. His expressions show deep concentration. He studies maps, reviews files, and watches recorded footage, searching for patterns that others might miss. These scenes suggest that solving the mystery behind the Ghost War will depend on intelligence as much as strength. It is not just about fighting enemies, but understanding them. Short action glimpses also hint at what might happen in the future episodes or missions. Vehicles race through dark streets, suggesting emergency responses to sudden threats. Helicopters fly low over isolated areas, hinting at secret operations in remote locations. Teams prepare equipment in silence, showing that high-risk missions are about to begin. Each of these moments builds excitement for what lies ahead, without revealing the full story too early. One of the most powerful hints comes from the tone of urgency that grows stronger toward the end. The quick flashes become faster, almost overwhelming, as if events are moving too quickly to control. Lights flash across control rooms. Phones ring continuously. Officials speak with rising tension in their voices. This creates the feeling that time is running out, and every second matters. There is also a sense that the mastermind behind this ghost war is still hidden, waiting for the right moment to reveal the next step. The teaser carefully avoids showing the face of any clear villain. Instead, it focuses on shadows, dark rooms, and figures seen only from behind. This choice keeps the mystery alive and leaves viewers asking the same question: who is really behind all of this chaos? As the final moments of this section unfold, the tension reaches its peak. The visuals suggest that the next phase of the conflict will be more direct and more dangerous. Intelligence teams are no longer just studying information. They are preparing to act. The quiet planning phase is ending, and the time for decisive moves is approaching. By the end of this section, one powerful message becomes clear. The clues are there, but the full truth remains hidden. The future of this story will depend on whether Jack Ryan can connect those clues before the hidden enemy makes the next move. The Ghost War has already begun, and what comes next may decide not only the outcome of the mission, but the safety of entire nations.